Hey Nationers, did you guys see the Sidemen charity match this past weekend? Oh my God! It was fantastic. It was literally about picture perfect as you could get for any event ever. It's been about a week since the Sidemen charity match 2022 has concluded. I've had a lot of time to dissect, a lot of time to think about who was the best player in the match, plus who was the worst player on that pitch. And that's what we're going to be finding out today in this Sidemen Charity Match 2022 tier list. Let's do it. Yay! Clap your hands. Or I kind of can't clap my hands. I'm holding my mic. So yeah. I found if I put the mic here, you can't hear me. So I've decided I will be holding the mic throughout all these videos. So we're going to be ranking the players from the bench to the starting 11. From man of the match, surprised me, genuinely surprised me. Average, which I think kind of sounds like a bit rude, but like it's just average. 3.0 grade, which is like a pretty bad rating, like in football. And then also like benched, like you wouldn't actually start the game or whatever, maybe even come in the game. By the way, I'm valuing people on their impact of the game, how good they were on that day, and maybe even taking a little bit of overall skill. Like did they live up to their expectations? That's what we're going to be ranking them on. So first off, we have JME. Now JME, right, left defender. I'm not gonna lie, JME played pretty average. He probably surprised me a little bit, but I think I put him in average simply because of his skill. And like, he didn't really make an impact on the game. I feel like, you know what? I don't know if you guys have seen this video or any of the videos. So of course, with any football match, there's always a pitch invader. There's always somebody running across the field trying to get a good clip. I'm sorry. JME is taking your phone, and I wish he would have smashed them, but he took their phones and then they give them back after the match. But he deletes the video. It's hilarious. I'm so glad that he does it because F those guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be that guy. F those guys. F the people that are ruining the event. They didn't even have a trophy ceremony because like 6 people ran onto the pitch. F those guys. JME pretty average. Next up, we have Randy. Now Randy, I'm not going to lie. First initial thoughts, he surprised me. I've watched all his videos. I've seen the videos that he's been in. I've seen all him and Simon's podcast talking about like, oh, he's like, I don't know how good I'm going to play. Like, I'm probably just going to play like 5 minutes, if that. He honestly surprised me. He surprised me for how well he did and how much he played. I actually really and genuinely enjoyed watching Randy play. He almost had a goal. He had a shot on goal. I'm going to put him in surprise me for right now. We'll see if that changes later. Cal Freezy. I don't know if you guys saw the clip when he like throws the ball in. He doesn't really throw it in. It just like goes, like doesn't even make it back into the field of play. Plus, he also did tear his hamstring. He's pretty solid right back, but I'm going to put him on the bench for now. He's probably going to stay on the bench, but don't tell him that. Next up, we got Deji, the 1-0 boxer. I'm not gonna lie, Deji didn't play great. He didn't have like the best touches, didn't really have an impact on the game, but I wouldn't put him on the bench. He was really physical. He was aggressive. He had good positioning. It's just that when the ball like came to his leg, it like bounced like 10 feet the other direction. So, as much as people like bash on you to continue boxing, and I'm glad you did, if anyone's ruined for you to continue soccer and football, I think it's time to put up the boots. But I put him in a 3.0 grade. I feel like he played pretty solid for his standards. A Nissan Gib, my goodness. Actually played a lot better than I thought. Well, also not as good as I thought. I'm gonna put him in bench. Like he played good. He might be like a high bench, low 3.0. Like he had a good impact on the game, but he also did let in that final goal that won the Sidemen FC with Simon's goal at the end of the match. So I'm gonna put, I think I wanna put a Nissan in 3.0. Depending on who's in here, we might put him in bench. Next up, we got Nico Amalana. Nico surprised me, okay? Nico surprised me. Had a great impact on the game. Great positioning. Both that first goal when the pitch invader was on there. Philly got the slide tackle right to Nico's left foot. Bang, right over Pie Face, the goalkeeper. Also, Pie Face also got a shot off Chunks when Speed was literally standing over KSI. And bam, he just had great positioning. He played well all around. Good defense. He honestly surprised me. So yeah. I don't know how to transition out of that. Next up, we got, I think this is George Not Found. I've never seen George with this much hair. This might be a photo back when he was like 15, but George Not Found. Man of the, no, he's going right into bench. Nothing against George. I love the game that you play. I love the game that you play and the game that you played, but I don't know if he was found anywhere on that pitch. at any moment in time. That slide tackle that Simon got on him, the double-legged slide tackle, to then score right after it was incredible by Simon, not by George, but I feel like George played a solid game for his standards. I didn't expect him to go out there and like start balling out, right? I still think he played really, really well. Next up, the person who slide tackled George for the goal, Simon Minter, man of the match. Now, we have our first man of the match. I don't think he is the man of the match, however. I think it's going to be someone else, and I'll explain why later. But I feel as of right now, 3 goals, 3 assists, a 10.0 rating, I don't know if I agree with. Like, he just wasn't really physical himself. He just had good positioning, some good touches. It was good overall, but I just don't know if a 10 is worth it. That's a little hot take, and I'm going to take any heat that you guys have for me in the comments. Simon had a great match, super humble in his regards. He obviously doesn't think he got a 10.0. I'm also going to agree with that, but I still think he deserved a 10.0 out of everyone else's standards, which I will agree with. Next up, Pieface. Pieface, he did better than I would have thought. I watched the video of him on the Sidemen video that came out before the match. He actually played pretty well for what I thought. Like, I thought he was a little slow laterally. Like, he had good hands. His kicks were a little bit high in the sky, but for the most part, I give him a 3.0 grade. I wouldn't put him on the bench. Like, he had some good saves. He had good positioning. And one thing that I gotta kudos out to Pieface. My sister loves Pieface, by the way. Pieface, even though he had adversity, he was still willing to get up, get out there, and still continue to play at the best of his ability. So, Pieface, kudos out to you. Oh, Calix. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm just going to put him in bench. Like, yeah, I don't know if he had a great game. He had a good few passes, but didn't really have an impact on the game. Of his standards, he actually played a little bit about as well as I thought he would play. So, bench for Calix. Chris Tyson. I actually really liked Chris. He got a lot of hate. I watched Will and E's video who were about to rank here. He said that, like, Chris saw, like, a lot of the, like, I guess, comments about him. I thought Chris played really well. There is this one play where the ball basically gets redirected from, like, you guys to me, and he could have taken a touch with his left foot. He doesn't, and he just, like, kicks it and just, like, falls over his leg. That's almost kind of like what I expected from him. Like, mind you, he got dribbled around a lot and, like, got a handful of scores and goals on him, but I don't think that really defined him as well as he could have. So, average for Chris Tyson. Vicstar, honestly, he surprised the crap out of me. Vicstar played really well. Mind you, we've seen the pen in 2018. This open play goal is miraculous. Mind you, I think Cal the Dragon could have saved it. I'm really glad Vic was able to get that goal. And it's not like Cal was like, oh, the ball. Like, he tried. He just didn't get it. And so for Cal standard, that's on him, not on Vic, if that makes sense. Vicstar played really, really well. He battled, he contested, he had good passes, had good touches, he had good positioning. His off-the-ball positioning was fantastic. And Vicstar, you surprised me. You know, I thought he would play pretty well, and I think he did. Like, he probably would have played about as well as I thought he would have played. Pretty physical, had some good touches, you know, on and off kind of frequently, but he played really well. He surprised me. In addition to that, we have Cal the Dragon, who let in 8 goals. I'm not gonna lie. Cal? A little under Deji, maybe even under a Nissan. I wouldn't put him on the bench. Like, he had some miraculous saves. Both when Chris and Simon both, like, literally shot right at his leg. His line wasn't as good as I thought it could have been. Hence why, like, Simon scored, like, a handful of goals. He missed, like, 2 kicks. Like, one deflected off him, which was Chris MD's. Simon's, like, just went right under his foot. Like, that's just, like, get on the ground and grab it, you know? I think he played an overall really good match. His skills were, like, kind of, like, up and down. It was like, oh, why did you let that goal in? But then it was like, oh my God, like, that save? Like, when Manny, late in the match, I think it was Manny like chipped it and Cal just goes bam, just knocks it out. I'm like, that's kind of what I was like wow about. And so I put him in a low 3-point grade simply because of all the mistakes he made. I think that's a pretty fair rating from, I guess I'm the one rating it, so I hope it's fair. Next up, Chris MD. Now, I thought Chris MD played about as average as I would have thought he would have played. But I also think he played really well. Like, he had a lot of impact. He had a lot of, like, pre-assist stuff, like setting up goals, setting up passes. And I thought that was really good for what was needed of him. The only thing that I might knock him off of is, like, I just know he could probably play better. You know, he had some good shots. He had good positioning. Some of the touches were a little bit questionable, like passes. Trying to do like a 1-2 assignment, tries to go between Harry Panera's like legs. It doesn't quite work. So I put Chris MD in like a high average. He didn't really surprise me, but he also played kind of like as good as I thought he would have played. Manny honestly really surprised me. Manny, I probably also put him maybe in like a low man of the match. He like really surprised me. He had great speed, like literally right as he got on for the first time, literally had an immediate impact. Obviously carried all the way out through even the 90th minute. And obviously he was cramping up at that point, but like if you're cramping, you played a good game, right? So Manny, and that freaking header with Toby, oh my gosh, that is actually an insane header. Not only the pass from Chris MD to Toby, insane, but what's more insane is the pass from Toby to Manny. What's even more insane is that Manny headed it back into the back of the net. It was insane. And Danny Aaron's another person very, very much like Randy. I'm probably going to put him above Randy. He actually surprised me. I watched him in like a Chris MD video, and he just did not like do well. Like he would about it was his first time touching a soccer ball. It was his first time touching a soccer ball, that video. That's what I thought it was. And mind you, he's only 20. So Danny Aaron's like, he could probably improve within this next year. You know, more touches. Like he actually played really well. Like he had a lot of good challenges, a lot of good dribbling. Like he just played overall really well. Really surprised me. Very much like Randy. Like it was like, oh, okay, like, you know, like even Noah Beck, like when he was going against Randy, he just like let Randy play. He didn't like try and steal the ball from him because he knew like Randy was just gonna like pass it. He understood that Randy probably wasn't as good as Noah Beck as himself. So anyways, we got Harry Panero. Harry Panero, honestly, I think he played really well. Great freaking physical defense. His defense was elite. Like if there's a defender that I'd like put on my team, it's him. It's Harry Panero. So Harry Panero, definitely the man of the match. Probably is the man of the match. Do I think he played better than Simon? I don't know. And mind you, like obviously the goals do help. Like Harry Panero can't score a goal if he's in the defense as much. I mean, mind you, unless you're Will and E, but still played so solid. He might act, you know what? He is better. He is better. Next up, Noah Beck. Noah Beck's definitely going in man of the match. I think he played fantastic. My first time really ever watching Noah Beck other than when he played in college, but Noah Beck played really well. He had a lot of impact on the game. This is kind of like the same thing with Harry. Noah Beck is like if Harry and Chris MD were like the same person, you know, kind of like the average of those two. Had great defense, had great impact on the game, not both on offense, but defense and through the midfield, but like also was like super good. You know, like played even better than kind of like what I thought. Like his ball movement, speed, it was great to watch. It was fantastic. He won a lot of challenges. You know, like when balls were playing through, like even on the defense, he's midfield and he's on the defense, like making these plays. It's insane. So I think I put him probably above Manny, only because I think his impact overall in the game was a lot higher than Manny. Mind you, the goal, but even though it took like one shot, but still set up Chunks. He still set up Theo. He still set up so many people. So yeah, a lot of assists on Noah's part, and I'm going to put him above Manny for that. In addition to that, we do have Chandler, another Mr. Beast boy. The Beast Boys. I don't know. I didn't really see him throughout the game. Like, I think I maybe saw him like 4 times, and I think like 2 of them were when they were celebrating goals. And maybe like 1 time he was getting subbed on. So like 1 time on the match where he had like the ball and was like, oh, that's Chandler. Like he's got the ball. I think he played pretty solid, it seemed like. Like he wasn't really involved in a whole lot, so I guess that's a good thing. Influence on the game, I'm going to bring him down. There was really nothing that could have, I guess, put him higher other than like everything. Like scoring a goal by chance, or, you know, maybe stopping like a defense, like a good defense. Like I didn't really see him. So I'm going to put him on the bench for right now. Ethan, Daddy Payne, near the top would surprise me. This might surprise a lot of people, but I'm actually going to put him there because I think Ethan not only surprised me because of like his defense was really good, like his bodying, you know, his control. He knew how to get out of situations, you know? Like imagine you had a gun to your head, right? And it's like, if you don't answer what 2 + 2 is, you're gonna die, right? He was like 2 + 2. That's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. And 1 + 1 = 2. And 1 + 1 = 2. And that's 2 of that. So that equals 4. I hope you get what I mean. I'm going to put him in surprise me. Will and E. I think Will and E played pretty solid, pretty average, a little bit better. He was actually He was kind of like what I thought Chandler would be. I think a lot of people just kind of came to Willie's side a lot of the time. Like he had good, like he knew as if he was getting chased, he'd kick it out. You know, it was good. Like he had the goal, obviously, from center back. I think left back or left center back. He like came up, he's like, I'm going to go up, and scores the goal. Like that's insane. I think Willenie is going to go an average because I think it's what he would have played, but then also a goal on top of that. Great defense for the most part for what he's capable of. I think that's where I properly place him. Carl Jacobs, one of those people that honestly surprised me. Goal regardless, this man had such an impact on the game, and I don't know if people can appreciate all the things that Carl did. Carl, on the defense, usually about like left or right back, it was usually left back. Carl Jacobs had great passes, had great positioning. He knew how to defend. Carl Jacobs is very deserving of the most shocked, like conceived notion of like, okay, well, this guy played varsity soccer, you know, he'd probably be pretty good. Like he could pick up a ball and like dribble, and he could pass, he could shoot, like the basics of football, right? But he like honestly played really well, especially up against some of the better people. Like the tasks that he had to accomplish, he succeeded in all of them. He completed all of his Among Us tasks in round 1. Like that's how good Carl is. Philly, probably one of the man of the match, had such great heat maps. He was all around the pitch, kind of like Noah. You know, he had obviously a crazy goal. Oh my God, top bins, like moving right. Like that's like that's like Kawhi Leonard's Game 7 buzzer beater shot. Like that's what that shot was in like the first 20 minutes. But our man of the match, I don't think is on here yet. I don't think. Is it? I'm trying to look. I might actually reorganize man of the match. I might actually. Next up, KSI. KSI kind of like low surprised me. I think Vic probably had a good surprise me. KSI kind of played pretty good. Like he was able to run with a lot of people who are very fast, like Noah, Philly, and Theo. But at the same time, I don't think he had that much of an impact on the game, if that makes sense. So overall impact, not there. But minor impacts, I'd say so. So KSI and JJ is gonna go in my low surprise me as of right now. Next up, Harry. Harry also played super well. I think him and Ethan were like a great center back duo. They were fantastic. He had about 6 minutes off going into the second half, as he's mentioned. I thought this was fantastic from him. Great stepping in. Ethan was like a great outlet to get out of things. Harry was a great outlet to stop things. Harry like had a lot of clearances, had a lot of defensive possessions or offensive possessions that were stopped by him. And that is why I'm going to put him in the middle of the surprise because he actually really played well. I would have liked to see him shoot, but I'm not Harry. So yeah, Chunks, honestly, high surprised me. I didn't think he could ball out. I didn't think Chunks could ball out. I have not seen his soccer aid stuff. The man can ball. The man, when he took like a 35-foot out of the box shot and made it, like that was wild. That was wild. Mobility-wise, he could probably be a little faster, you know, turn a little bit quicker, but like, what? This guy was probably the most shocking. Like, him and Carl were like, I'm like, oh, they can ball out. Like, they're good. Definitely high on Chunks. Theo Baker. This one can actually be pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so sorry to any Theo fans out there. I'm gonna put him high average, only because I think he had a great goal. He had great positioning, great passing. It was great. It was fantastic, right? I think the one thing he lacks was overall impact on the game that was like significant enough for his standard. You know, to be on the Crystal Palace development team. Like, yeah, your football skills are good. There was obviously great, you know, dribbling, great passing, but overall, like, I think he could have played better. And that's why I'm going to put him in above average with Chris MD. Next up, we have Speed. I'm not a huge fan of Speed. I don't like watching any of his content. Obviously, coming into the match, a lot of people had hyped him up. You know, it's like, is he just like faking when he's playing, or is he like really genuinely good at the game? No, I don't think he's good at the game. He slide tackled to try and get the ball, and the ball's like right at his feet. His one touch wasn't that great. I don't want to put him in 3.0 because I didn't expect him to like be able to be good, but I probably put him also in average. Obviously, yes, there's the moments. His slide tackling ability is about as awful of a decision that I think anyone could have made. Like, you could have seriously hurt somebody. JJ probably could have broken an ankle because of that. We're obviously glad that he didn't. Like, I've been slide tackled like that, and it's not fun. Like, you can tear an Achilles. It's not a slide tackle that should be just allowed. Like, there should have been a card, but it's the Sidemen charity match. Like, it's not the most serious thing in the world. Overall, his positioning offsides is, you know, About as bad as you could get. In addition to that, Laserbeam. I think Laserbeam played pretty average for kind of like what I thought. Pretty much all I got to say about Laserbeam. Castro, I knew could ball out. I knew Castro could ball out. I watched this man score a header against Sidemen FC in their 2-0 victory in 2017, I believe. And man, like that man can ball out. Like, obviously, it's fantastic that he scored, was able to have that moment. To share the news that he, his mom is out of, or is cancer-free, but is out of remission? Is that what it is? She's out of remission. She's cancer-free. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's super fantastic. Like, oh my goodness, this man, perfect passes. Like this guy, 18 out of 18 perfect passes. It's actually insane. Like his long balls were fantastic. Everything about his gameplay was about as solid as you could get. Impact on the game, very light. But for his standards, like he's very much just like he'll do his job. It's about you doing your job. So yeah, Castro, one of the man of the matches. Mr. Beast didn't play like all that well. Like he didn't have like the most significant impact on the game, but I think he still played really well. Like he enjoyed the match. Like it seemed like he had fun out there, right? So I think I'd put him in like middle of average. I think Jimmy himself, Mr. 100 million plus subscribers, is about as average as you could get on a football pitch, which I think it's actually not that bad. Toby, my goodness. Toby and Simon are and Manny are like oh my goodness, they're a threat on that field. Actually insane just to see how well Toby played, especially coming off a hamstring injury. It was actually insane. So I think he's definitely one of the man of the matches. Obviously that pass to Manny that we mentioned earlier. Ooh, amazing. And yeah, just had overall good impact. Like, good defense, overall just really good. Super quick on his feet. Man, that guy's so fast. I want to see who would win in a race, me or him. Well, I really actually want to see that. In addition to that, we have Josh Zerka. I think Josh played a little bit well. Like he played really well. Good defense, good jockeying, good like kind of shadowing around people. Good defense, like had a slightly significant impact on the game. And I think it was enough to edge them the win. In addition to that, Nationers, do not forget to hit that subscribe button because the man of the match, I'm starting to look at this, Nationers, and don't know if I have the man of the match at the man of the match. Do we put Simon up there? Because of obviously like all the goals he scored. Harry's above Philly. I think that's for certain. But is Simon the man of the match? For as many missed shots as he missed, but overall the impact that he had on the game, I think he's the man of the match. Simon is my man of the match, and I'm going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't hit the subscribe button, subscribe right now, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. 07. Peace.